Part 2 of Wonders Upon Wonders from The Nutcracker and the Mouse King by E.T.A. Hoffman. Turn on your closed captions, read along with me. This channel is devoted to reducing all the effects of brain rot, to rehabilitate the attention span, and to preserve the future from wandering barbarian hordes whom no one ever took the time to teach the noble art of reading to. So read along with me. Her heart had before beat so terribly from anxiety and fear that she thought it would leap out of her bosom, and then she knew she must die. But now it seemed as if the blood stood still in her veins. Half fainting, she trotted backwards, when clatter, clatter, rattle, rattle, it went, and the glass pane which she had struck with her elbow fell in pieces at her feet. She felt at the moment a sharp pain in her left arm, but her heart all at once became much lighter. She heard no more squeaking and squealing. All had become still, and although she did not dare look, yet she believed that the mice, frightened by the clatter of the broken glass, had retreated into their holes. But what was that again? Close behind her in the glass case, a strange bustling and rustling began, and little fine voices were heard. Up, up, awake, arms, take, awake, to the fight, this night, up, to the fight. And all the while something rang out clear and sweet like little bells. Ah, that's my dear musical clock, exclaimed Maria joyfully, and turned quickly to look. Then she saw how it flashed and lightened strangely in the glass case, and there was a great stir and bustle upon the shelves. Many little figures crossed up and down by each other, and worked and stretched out their arms as if they were making ready. And now Nutcracker raised himself on all of a sudden, threw the bedclothes clear off, and leapt with both feet at once out of bed, crying aloud, Crack, 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 stupid pack, drive the mouse back, stupid pack, crack, crack, mouse back, crick, crack, stupid pack. With these words he drew his little sword, flourished it in the air, and exclaimed, My loving vassals, friends and brothers, will you stand by me with the hard fight? Straightway 3 scaramouches, a harlequin, 4 chimney sweepers, 2 guitar players, and a drummer cried out, Yes, my lord, we will follow you with fidelity and courage. We will march with you to battle, to victory or death, and then rushed after the fiery Nutcracker, who ventured the dangerous leap down from the upper shelf. Ah, it was easy enough for them to perform this feat, for besides their fine garments of thick cloth and silk which they wore, the insides of their body were made of cotton and tow, so that they came down plump like bags of wool. But poor Nutcracker had certainly broken his arm or leg, for remember, it is almost 2 feet from the shelf where he stood to the floor, and his body was as brittle as if it had been cut out of linden wood. Yes, Nutcracker would certainly have broken his arm or legs if, at that moment when he leapt, Miss Clara had not sprung quickly from the sofa and caught the hero in with his drawn sword in her soft arms. Ah, good dear Clara, sobbed Maria, how I have wronged thee. Thou didst certainly resign thy bed willingly to the little Nutcracker. But Miss Clara now spoke as she softly pressed the young hero in her silken bosom. You will not, oh, my lord, sick and wounded as you are, share the dangers of the fight. See how your brave vassals assemble themselves, eager for the affray, and certain of the conquest. Scaramouche, harlequin, chimney sweepers, guitar players, drummer, all already drawn below, and the china figures on the shelf stir and move strangely. Will you not, O my lord, repose upon the sofa, or from my arms look down upon your victory? Thus spoke Clara, but Nutcracker demeaned himself very ungraciously, for he kicked and struggled so violently with his legs that Clara was obliged to set him quickly down upon the floor. He then, however, dropped gracefully upon one knee and said, Fair lady, the recollection of thy favor and condescension will go with me into the battle and the strife. Clara then stooped so low that she could take him by the arm, raised him gently from his knees, took off her bespangled girdle, and was about to throw it across his neck. But little Nutcracker stepped 2 paces backward, laid his hand upon his breast, and said very earnestly, Not so, fair lady, lavish not thy favors upon this for me. He stopped, sighed heavily, tore off the ribbon which Maria had bound his shoulder, pressed it to his lips, hung it across him like a scarf, and then boldly flourishing his bright little blade, leapt like a bird over the edge of the glass case upon the floor. You understand, my kind and good readers and listeners, that Nutcracker, even before he thus came to life, had felt very, felt very sensibly the kindness and love which Maria had shown towards him. And it was because he had become so partial to her that he could not receive and wear the girdle of Miss Clara, although it shone and sparkled so brightly. The true and faithful Nutcracker preferred to wear Maria's simple ribbon. But what will now happen? As soon as Nutcracker had leapt out, the squeaking and whistling was heard again. Ah, it was under the large table that the hateful mice have concealed their countless bands. High above them all towers the dreadful mouse with the 7 heads. What will happen now?